Welcome back to Etc. Podcast. I got my co-host Mark here. I'm Victor. How are you, Mark?
I'm good, Victor. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
That's great. That's great. It's lovely.
So I just realized after like doing this whole after we recorded, I forgot to tell you I had a dream, and it's been a while since I had one of my dreams.
Welcome back to
Victor's
Victor's
dreams.
Dreams.
um, this one's not that bad though. This was actually pretty cool.
Okay,
Nobody died, nobody got hurt,
that's good. That's always good to hear.
so it's a
Still
change.
afraid of my life. Still looking over my shoulder after the last one you
Yeah,
told me.
yeah, yeah. So basically, it's actually kind of nice. So
That's kind of nice.
basically it just starts off. I'm at like an award, like the Grammys, like an award ceremony type of thing.
Ooh, fancy, fancy.
Yeah, and I'm there, and like they're listening.
What are you wearing? You wearing a suit?
I don't remember all that.
Okay.
I just remember it was like kind of like those nice looking theater type things. Like it looks like the Grammys and shit.
almost like an opera.
Yeah,
type,
yeah, 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 yeah. Like yellowish light,
true,
red
true. Red
chairs.
chairs.
You get the vibe.
Yeah, got you. Cool. I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm there, and they're listening off. They're like somebody's listening off nominees, and I'm one of them. And I'm like, oh
Ooh,
shit, it's
okay.
lit. So I'm just like, yo, like I'm nervous, like I'm just sitting there chilling, and then they say my name, and I won,
Oh my god.
and I get called up. So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go up there. And you know how they like when you going up, they usually like play a song, and like usually it's like the person who won song, but like I don't have songs. So
But I don't have a song. Yo, you imagine your dream created a
yeah,
song
yeah,
for you?
yo, and it was fire.
You imagine, bro? You'd be
I'd be like, yo,
"Shit,
like
I gotta have this dream. I
I
gotta write
would
it down.
I would have called you like, yo, like we gotta hop in the booth right now. I don't.
Studio time.
But the song that played was the new Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak song. It's like, I'm gonna
I didn't
leave
hear
the
that, but
top.
yeah,
You haven't heard it
I
yet?
heard it.
Have you been living under a freaking rock? How did you not hear this song yet? It's so good. Bro, I'm dead.
Sorry.
I'm not even, bro. I'm so serious right now. Like, how have you not heard this, even a piece of
I
this
don't know.
song yet?
I just haven't heard it.
Where have you been?
Home.
But like, even if you just pull out your phone, somebody's using it in the
No,
background of
like-
their video, or like anything like that.
From what I've seen, nobody's used it.
I don't understand. Where do you go? No, I'm genuinely asking right now because, like, one, sometimes it's hard to text you, right? So you claim you're not on your phone. Then you'd be missing out on social media stuff in general. So I'm like, all right. But then you just be home, and then you just say like, oh, I didn't see this or I didn't watch this yet. So I'm like, but where do you go? What you be doing? Like, what happens to you once we get out of here?
What happens to me? Great question. So I go home, right? And then I sit there and then I contemplate life a little bit. I just be chilling. And I just sometimes.
But what does that mean?
But
What
the
does that
thing- no,
pertain?
so this is the thing. I'm not usually always on my phone that much.
Okay, that's
Just-
fine.
that's
So
just-
what
that's
so
just
what
how
are
I
you
am.
doing?
So if I'm not, like I said, like recently I've been watching a lot of animes recently. So I just been,
So
binging
you
shit
just
like
you
that.
put on anime and you just your phone.
But sometimes, I mean, yeah, I just be focused in. I just be chilling, just be relaxing. But I know the song you're talking about. It's
Yeah,
not like I don't know.
but how
I
have
just
you not
haven't
heard it?
And the thing
I know
is,
you
there
don't
was
like
one
Bruno,
time-
but
And there was one time I wanted to listen to it, and I just didn't do it. And that was just how it was. And then from there, that's usually how things go. When I see it, and then I don't take that one opportunity to listen to a song, it just ends up not coming back up for me, and I just end up missing it.
so you just be watching TV until we record again?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I mean, if anything, might go and play a game a little bit. If not, I'm just sometimes too. Also,
I haven't seen you
recently-
streaming, bro. What happened?
Nothing. It's just I've been trying to focus on a little bit of other things like finding a job and stuff like that. And I feel like I want to be able to do stuff that, pertains. Once I have the job, I can have a better schedule and stuff like that and just focus a little bit more on, kind of how to manage it and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I just like took a break. And also I like didn't really, not that I didn't want to play, but it was almost as if I didn't have almost a little bit of inspiration to play a little bit. And I kind of felt like, I don't know, it felt a little redundant to me when I was like about to do it. So I was like, I need to figure out exactly, have a better schedule, and also kind of specific games I want to play majority of the time to just kind of like keep a good, audience for people to know what I'm like playing and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's kind of been like that a little bit.
So TV?
Yeah.
Okay. Back to my dream. So yeah, so that song's playing, and then just like I'm like, I guess because I'm at the worst ceremony, whatever, and I'm like a little bit tipsy, and I'm just like nervous, so I'm like, I go
This
up
man's
there,
tipsy.
and I go up to like do my speech. I'm like, oh, thank you, whatever. But instead of like going right into my speech or being like, oh my God, I can't believe it. While the song's playing, I start to sing the song in the mic too, like just kind of like playful, not like legitimate, but like just like
Okay.
I'm like vibing out. So I start doing that in the mic, and then the crowd starts doing it too. So I'm like, this is kind of awesome. I start getting into my serious shit, and That's when I start to get nervous. So then like I'm doing my speech and like I'm like, yeah, like I just want to thank my team and my family, my friends, and like all this other shit. But I get nervous and I do that. You know that thing happens with mics when like it's like real awkward. It's
Yeah.
like, that happens. So I get like all embarrassed and shit. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm sorry. Like, all right, again, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank like my friends, my family. All right, I love y'all. Good night. And then like that's it. But like I'm a little bit embarrassed because of that one part where like I did the little woomph and then I got all awkward. But that's it. And then for some reason the next day happens. And so right now, I don't know if you can see right there, we're recording on my phone, but at the very bottom, there's a small chip in my screen protector. Okay. So I think that's what triggered this part of the dream. So the next day happens, and I'm in like a phone store
Hmm.
trying to buy a screen protector.
Okay.
And I go there and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, like this shit's like when I used to work at T-Mobile, they used to be expensive as shit. It was like $40 for one.
Jesus.
And I'm like looking, I'm like, oh, it's for, like I'm not gonna buy it. Like I'll just order off Amazon, like whatever. But for whatever reason, the two guys that were working the store were like, yo, like you already opened it and shit. Like it's like at this point, like it's either you have to pay for it or I have to do this whole like weird thing. Like, you know, like they be
Yeah,
bitching.
yeah,
So I'm like, all right, whatever. It's not even that deep. I'll pay for it. But
yeah.
like there's two guys working the store. One guy I didn't like. It was just a random. Like it's probably somebody I came across and like I remember their face. And it's just like, you know, like how your mind work like that. The other guy that was working there was the Danny Lopriori, the "Let me suck your titties, baby."
That's
And
random.
but he recently liked one of our videos on TikTok. So like I think that's what triggered it.
A lot of things. Yeah. Okay.
So he was the other guy. And I'm there at the Grammys and like or not like the night before I was at the Grammys and right there, like it's literally the day after. So I'm like, yo, like it's Danny. Like I watch him a lot, whatever, we're cool. I want to tell him about last night. Like I just want a Grammy.
Just
But
talking
I
about last
don't because I don't know him like that. So I'm like, oh, he's probably gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't know
I
you.
don't care.
Yeah, like I'm just working at this phone store for whatever reason, even though he has like 2 podcasts of his own and he has like hundreds of patrons. But whatever. He was just working at that store at that time.
Just part-time job.
Yeah. So I'm just like, he doesn't give a fuck. So I don't tell him and like I pay for the shit and I leave. And that's like all I remember from the dream. But that's so random. Notice how nobody died.
True. True. Yet.
But yeah, I ran in. Yo, I was so hyped when I saw he liked one of our videos. Because I don't know if you remember, but like you never were a big fan of it, but I got Quentin into the Basement Yard. There's another podcast, and he was a part of that.
I know.
And like, there was a certain point where we feel weird because like we would talk about something, and then on their show they would talk about it, or we do a certain Thursday video, and then they would do it. So like,
Yeah.
so we were like, do they know who we are?
Yeah. Are they like?
So do they low key like see our shit?
And take
And
it?
now that like on TikTok he liked our video, I'm like, all right, so at least he knows we do this.
True.
He might not even liked it on purpose.
True.
Like it could have been on accident, or maybe he saw like the one thing that we said and he just like, oh, I agree with that and liked it.
Maybe it's.
But now like I'm just like, yo, he knows who we are.
Yeah.
We're moving. So now
Maybe
we're
it's
buying our
like-
mansion.
Maybe it's basically he's sending a hint. He's like, okay, y'all see that we slowly back then were taking,
Yeah.
talking about ideas and taking ideas. A little bit.
That was kind of like a little like, yeah, I did it. What the fuck you
Yeah,
gonna do?
What you gonna do about it? Now it's like, okay, I liked your TikTok. You do with that what you will.
But no, I think that's dope that he like at least with TikTok somebody like that was able to come across our shit.
Yeah, because with so much stuff out there, it's like, wow.
It was just another sign to me because like lately we've been getting a lot of love, and then to see that as well, I'm like, oh, dope! Like somebody who's at that level compared to where we at, like
Yeah.
like something we did, and it wasn't even when we were in here. It was an old episode where we were still we're like doing webcam chats, and the clip I used that he liked was when I was talking about like, and it's something very Danny of him to like from what I'm from listening to him, I feel like this is something he would have liked. I was talking about how like I'm so ready for like when we do make it. If somebody just saying like, "Oh, you didn't earn this," like it wasn't like it was overnight and all this other shit. And I was like, "Yo, like I'm ready to throw some hands over that shit."
Yeah,
And we talked about that for a little bit. And he liked that video,
that's him.
and it wasn't even one of our viral ones.
See,
Like
that's probably another thing too. It's probably he's saying like, "Yo, I'm gonna throw hands with y'all."
Shit. What's good, Danny?
We could do a collab and we could throw hands.
And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tag him in this clip that we just did talking about him and see if he likes it again,
let's see.
just so he
Yeah.
knows. Go watch the full episode, Danny.
Go watch the episode.
I'm ready for you. Invite me on the podcast. You, me, Michael. He does a podcast with his brother now.
Cool. Okay.
Michael Lopria. They're so funny, bro. I know you don't really watch podcasts like that, do you?
Not really. That would be pretty funny. To
Watch that
watch.
one. They're
That'd be
hilarious,
pretty
bro.
funny to watch.
It's technically supposed to be the three of them, but like the other one moves around a lot, so he's not on it
Oh,
all the
so yeah,
time.
not all the time.
But it's every week is Danny and Michael, and they're hilarious,
It's
bro.
pretty funny.
His
Just
Twitch
hearing
streams are
about
funny
that.
too. Do you watch him on Twitch?
No.
He has
I
a-
know he had one.
He has a
That's
big Twitch following.
Wow. I didn't
Really, you
know
didn't know he had one
that.
at
I
all?
didn't know I didn't know
He has
had
a
one.
big following on Twitch.
I find out very slowly that there's certain people that I know that were like I watched or like did like content, like
Mhm.
funny content that like randomly I'll find like, oh, they also have like a Twitch.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and he's
oh,
been
wow,
doing it
that's
for
pretty
years too.
interesting.
He just did a Twitch stream with T Pain. Like he's big on there. Like
Cool. That's pretty funny.
yeah. So like they're both killing it right now. But now they have their podcast together, and that's doing really well too. They have like 200 patrons or some shit like that, and they just started.
Nice.
Fire. So that was my dream.
That
How
was
long did that take? 11 minutes. It's not so bad.
a pretty good dream. Pretty good lengthy dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that happens more. Maybe Joe Rogan likes our podcast. Then who else? Who has a good podcast
That
out there?
happens.
Uh,
Man.
Nick Miller and or Cody Co and like Nick Miller, the Tiny Meat Gang, whatever.
Yeah, all we need really is just somebody to just kind of like, I wouldn't say so much share, just like bring it up. Like if anyone just
Yeah.
if they one of them just brings it up, brings our like podcast up, it's like okay, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all you really need.
Or even just comment on one of our shit,
True. Yeah. Yeah. Comment would be
or like
really
react
crazy,
to it,
too.
like do a stitch. You never see on,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
TikTok
yeah.
where they like react to shit.
So any little thing like that.
Our
really-
IG reel's been killing it. I know you getting them notifications
Yeah.
when I post, and every time
Yeah,
it's like
I see it.
1,000 views, comments, and shit.
1,000K like plays. and
Yeah.
whatnot. You know
That's
what you know what I've recently been seeing a lot though, and there's been some TikToks. What's his name? Gordon Ramsay's daughter doing TikTok.
Oh, she has TikTok.
Yeah, you haven't seen them, Jones?
What is it?
There
Oh,
was the one
maybe
that
maybe I haven't. I didn't even know that was Gordon Ramsay's daughter.
Yeah, because he was in it twice, and there was one that she did where she pranked him, and I forget what she did. I think it was the thing with the water bottle and the coin or whatever. And
Ah,
you
like
take it,
the-
and then you squeeze it in her face, and like she did that to him, and everybody was like, "Oh shit!" Because they
You
everybody.
fucking
Yeah, like,
twat.
everybody knows how he is, but he was like laughing. He just
Yeah,
didn't care.
it's his daughter. What the hell, you're not gonna
but it was
spaz out.
just funny though because everybody was like, "Damn, yo, she did that to Gordon Ramsay." Then there was another one where she was just dancing or whatever, talking about the difference comparison to her dad cooking to her mom cooking or whatever. But I was
Yeah,
just
how
like,
is that? Like that? That's an interesting thing.
yeah.
What
think,
was it?
I
What
think
did they
she,
say?
I think the way she did it was like she was. I think she's saying that basically that she likes her mom's cooking more. And when I saw that, I was just like, wow, that's interesting because I can only like imagine, I guess.
Well, I understand that because like I feel like there's more of a homey vibe to it. I feel like Gordon Ramsay's Gordon Ramsay, and he's used to cooking like in serious settings.
You
So his shit got to be
imagine-
so like
You
crisp.
imagine it'd be like, hey, honey, get out the kitchen.
Not even that, but it's just like
Alright.
you know how like restaurants try to like do
No,
shit
yeah.
so upscale. It's probably so like serious and like without and so stressful, and not with like the type of love that a mom would do like in the house. Like if he was just on some chill shit, like oh, I'm gonna make you a grilled cheese and like not do all this extra shit, it would probably taste way better.
Imagine he made like 8 of them because the first 7 were in the right.
Yeah, like shit like
I was
that.
like, bro, it's cool. Just let me. I'll take the first.
You just
one."
add some dumbass puree or something. Like nah, like just make a regular ass grilled cheese and it probably tastes amazing.
What is regular?
Yeah, like
I'm
like he don't like to
okay,
him.
bro.
He's so used to just being in a like 5-star setting, you know.
Man,
But also like, do you think like his kids know how to cook and shit?
most likely.
Like, but like not
I-
like
I
regular,
wouldn't
like
s-
fire. Like they just like do
I'm
all
pretty
that
sure,
shit.
I'm pretty sure that he taught, like he had to have taught them.
But she's young, right? She's still, or is
Yeah, I feel like from what I saw, it looked like she was around our age. If not, she's probably a little bit younger.
she really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I pictured him still having like 7-year-olds and shit.
No, yeah, she's like she has to be like a teenager,
Okay,
if not our age.
you just pull up to their crib and they have like a 5-year-old, just like
but like
they
yeah,
bought.
he had to have taught them something, or at least like the general stuff, and then he was probably like, "Do with this."
Yeah, like I'm not gonna
kinda,
force it down
like,
your
you
throat.
know,
like if you want to
yeah.
learn more, like
But
come
it's
to
that
me.
idea of like, look, like you know, you should know how to cook, and it's like if you ever need to, it's like I gave
This-
you
this is
these
the basics,
skills. I
yeah.
gave you these skills to do it.
I'm not gonna force you to be a chef, but like
Yeah.
if you want to, like hit me up.
But hit
um,
me up, you know, and I can always like make you famous.
Instead of instead of an easy bake, they just bought him like a real kitchen,
right,
like a
Here's
full-on, like-
kitchen in your room.
like with the knives and everything.
I'm like, damn, shit. Yeah, I could only imagine.
He got some skill. You ever seen videos of him like actually cooking?
Yeah.
Like there's a video I think where he like took what?
So I'm just thinking of like an episode that he did, and it was like when the girl put the bread on her. Just
I'm
like,
an
what
idiot
are
sandwich.
you? I'm an idiot
That has to be scripted, right? You
Yo,
don't think that's real,
oh my
right?
god, bro! I just like I never saw somebody who could belittle somebody's life so bad.
That's
Like
scripted, right? It can't
it
be real.
has to be, bro, because you know, like these people put their hearts and souls and they like try. Like they don't think they're probably the best, but they're trying and they're trying to show what they can do for themselves. And to have somebody do that to you after so
Yeah.
much training you probably put yourself through that he probably doesn't know and what you spending nights over, and to have somebody call you these words and names, I'll just be like,
That's
bro.
why I have too much like of a mouth to like be in that setting or like
Yeah.
the military or any
Yeah.
of that shit. Cause I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you
Yeah,
talking
that's
to?
what I
Like,
say too. Like my mom also says that too sometimes. She's like, "Oh yeah, you know, have you ever thought about joining like the military or anything like that?" And I'm just like, you don't understand. Like I can understand like taking like like orders, like you know, something like you have a boss. They tell you
yeah,
to do
that's
stuff. Like,
everywhere.
but like if you literally probably did nothing wrong and they're yelling in your throat, or like say you just did something so little
Like
minuscule
overreacting.
and they're just overreacting yelling, I couldn't take that. I'd be like, bro. You need to chill the fuck out. You,
Yeah,
you
like-
need to back up and chill out. Like, there's no way you coming at me right now with this little shit. It's like,
Cause they just like it'll be some shit where like they overcook it, like, and it still look good. Like it don't even be that bad. It'll be like slightly overcooked, and be like, "You fucking piece of shit! Your mother should have swallowed you." And they're like, "I'm sorry, chef." Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
I'm just like, yo, like,
Yo, it's so funny because Seth, shout out my boy Seth, he works at a restaurant and he says that that's like what they had to say too, like yes chef. And it's like funny because we've been like he'll come over sometimes, we'll play the Switch and play Overcooked. So we'll be playing that joint and he'd just be like, yes chef. I'll just be dying, bro. It'd just be so funny. But yeah,
is he a cook or is he like?
so what he says he does right now, he's not a cook. He's not a cook. He does something else I can't remember, and it's not so much of waitering. I think it's where
He's like a runner,
yeah, I think that's what it
or like
was.
he takes the left, like the background shit, like
Yeah,
he
I
moves
think
stuff back and
so.
forth. Or
I believe that's what he said. Yeah, from what he like had a conversation with us with, and I believe that's what he said he was. And I said that's pretty interesting. But like just the fact that he has to like there'd be times where you know the chef will have them all together and like they'll talk to them and
Mhm.
they just be like, oh, like yes chef. And I just think that like, I find that so funny. I don't know why, but just playing that game too and just hearing that,
just
it's
them
like,
little things running
yeah,
around.
and it'd just be so funny. But yeah, just the fact that you said like he'll just be yelling at you and they're just like yes chef and just
Like
sitting
I
there.
like I can't. I have too much like I guess pride for that. Like
Yeah.
I can't take that. Too much dignity.
Because it's just like it's also a thing where it's like you realize the setting you're in and you're like, bro, nobody should be yelling at me for food. Like
Yeah.
it's like, bro, this isn't a
Like
thing,
at the end of the like, I get it. Like people pay for this shit, and you want to get it out on time, and you want it to look a certain way,
yeah.
and like I get that part. But at a certain point, it's like, yo, it's at the end of the day, it's really not that serious.
Exactly, because it's like it's literally just food, and we don't want to be wasteful. We're not ignorant to that, but it's the idea of like, bro, like,
No, I get like I guess from his point of view, he's like it's his image. Like people think that this is under his name, and like
so
he
if
wants it
sees
to make it
other
look good.
people, yeah, because he sees other people doing bad, it's like,
It's gonna reflect on him, and like, but still, bro, like you don't gotta do nobody dirty like that.
it's like,
It's
bro,
like, you worthless piece of scum. Break that piece of, take that lobster and take it to the back, right where I saw it. It's still fucking Melvin. It's like, yo, like you spitting on the food. Like, nah, I can't serve this.
You know what's also funny when I keep seeing that video of that little? It's like it's not so much of Hell's Kitchen where it's him, like the grown ups is the
Or
little
talking about
kids.
the little kid shows.
Yeah.
He's like, my potatoes. He's like,
Yeah, he's going in.
he's like, it's not gonna be ready in time.
And then it's that one clip too where they think they make it out of like treats or whatever. And I don't know if this is the same thing. That's why I was saying I'm not sure. But it's one where they make treats and it's like
Or is it
this
like a baking
girl-
show?
Yeah, and this girl had the Rice Krispies, or it was made out of like Fruity Pebbles, something. It was like something.
Something like that.
When they had to like kind of scope something with it, and it was like done. They said to let go, and you just see it, and then it fell over, and then she did that face. She just like, then she just started crying. I was like, bro, that says to me.
That's no, but that's actually like I get that. Like,
Well, yeah, because
like,
it's almost like a little bit,
especially
of
as a little kid, so it's harder for them to like kind of manage that.
yeah,
But like to them, they're like under for that kid, that's probably way more stress than we've ever experienced when we're in that younger.
true.
Like on TV and
Yeah,
like
on
people are gonna like
TV.
make fun of it. So like for her, I get that. Like to be that little and to do all
Yeah.
that shit and to work that hard and under that stress and then to just have it like fall apart. And then there's probably like money on the line and they don't
True,
understand
and
like how
probably,
much that
like,
really
also-
means.
Probably also like their parents, because all those parents are just like, oh, do your
Yeah.
best, but really it's like you want to win.
I'm gonna
right?
fuck you up if you don't. You better make that fucking cake, you piece of shit.
You better make those fucking millions. I'm not fucking
It's like
playing
them
with you.
spelling bee kids, yo. Like they're like probably like 6th, 7th grade, just going crazy. Like
Looking in the
that's
mirror,
way too much stress. Like
just-
even when we were younger, we were probably stressing about little projects and shit. That probably is not that big of a deal now. But like for at the time,
science projects, bro.
we were probably so stressed out because like we didn't get it. Like they were, and
Yeah.
also St. Peter's made shit so dramatic for no
They
reason.
did. They did. They
to
made
make
it
it
seem
s-
like there was gonna be scouts at them.
Yeah, like
gotta make sure this volcano's
so.
right.
So imagine like real money and like all
Yeah.
that. Like it's such like a, and you probably take like that's their shit. So like they take so
True.
much pride in it.
Yeah, I can imagine being younger. It's such a bigger deal, I guess, just because when you're younger, it's so much opportunity. So if something was to pop off, then it's like it can almost just escalate your whole life, really. So
They don't even see it that to them it's just like
yeah,
it's
a
like
lot of
for
them, they
kids
don't
like
see
that
it
everything is like
that.
life or death because
Yeah.
parents be making it or like adults be making it that way. Like in St. Peter's is like, oh, like if this is not gonna happen in high school. Like high school teachers aren't like that. And you go to high school, it's like it's not that deep. Like it was never that. They made it seem like it was like
God.
you were in like MIT when she went to high school. Like it was not
Bro,
that
it
deep.
was ridiculous. I
And then
believe
and then especially with high school too, it's like, oh, if you go to college is not gonna be like this. College is more like relaxed than any of the other shit.
Yeah, trust me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just to scare you. But like also another, I see it that way too. Where like even now, right now, March Madness is going on, where like teams are just like the game. Like I sent you the one video where it's like this is how the games are ending.
yeah.
And he was like, oh, like he lost it. Now he lost
It's
it,
like,
and now
oh
the
my
ref.
God, there's a baby. They're like, what is going on? Where are the parents?
Like the games have been that insane where like it'll be super close all day. Like it'll just be like 1 point differences
Back and
all
forth,
day.
back and
And
forth.
at the end, it'll be like 3 seconds left, and that one team will go over. It's like, oh, it's over for sure. And then they pass it again, then just like a half court shot and it'll go in. And it's just like, yo, like so many emotions in like a 30-second span. Like,
Yeah, because
and then these kids work on this all year. They spend like all day, every day working out to then just lose in an instant like that, something so small. And then you see them cry, and people like, why are they crying? Like, yo, like, you know how much time
yeah.
isn't this wasn't just the past 3 hours that you were just watching.
Yeah,
This is years of them busting their ass, and this is college.
yeah.
They're never
it's
gonna
their
be able to do
way-
this
it's their
again.
way to get into the professional.
Once they're in the
sense.
league, they're not gonna be able to win this championship again.
Exactly. And like, whatchamacallit, like from all the other sports I've seen well, not really all the sports. It's really kind of like football and really like basketball where it comes to college. Like, I've seen basketball and it's just like ridiculous. Like the amount of stuff people do in college basketball compared to like, the league, it's ridiculous. Like just the amount of like shit they can pull off and just let it go and just how aggressive they get to inside college. I'm like, damn. Like they'll just be pushing and almost just shooting shit. And I'm just like, okay. Interesting. Maybe getting it though.
Like what? Like the final championship game hasn't happened yet, I don't think. But I watched the semifinals on Saturday,
Mhm.
and that last game, how it ended, bro, or the second, like there was 2 games that day. The way one of them ended was insane, bro. Like I felt that shit.
Mm,
Like I only watched towards I was like, oh shit, like the last 2 minutes are on. Like let me watch it,
mhm.
and they were just going back and forth. It was UCLA versus Gonzaga.
I heard, yeah. I heard about
And
that game.
bruh, it was UCLA was like 11 seed, like they weren't even supposed to be there. Like they were like an
Oh.
underdog, and then Gonzaga was number 1,
Mhm.
and they were going back and forth. And this one kid, I forget his name. He's like, I think he's half black, half Asian,
Okay.
and he was just killing it. Like towards the end, he just took over, and Gonzaga went over them. It was like 5 seconds left. Gonzaga took a shot. They were up like say 63-62. Then that kid from UCLA took the ball and like did a crazy ass like difficult layup that wasn't supposed to go in.
Hmm.
They went up 54-53. 2 seconds left, or 1.8 seconds left. Beams it to the star of the team, and from center court, he just drains a 3 and game's over.
I think I remember I seen a clip of it. Yeah.
Bro, like even me, I was watching, I was like, yo, damn, bro. Like that shit hurt.
Yeah.
To be like wanting to fight so bad to win.
Yeah.
And then you just fall short right there. Like, bro. In all honesty, I'm not a crier, but like to like work that hard and have that shit happen to you, I'd probably like have to hold back some tears like that.
Yeah, but even then, like you got to think of the other side too, to think of like, wow, like we really pushed for it, and like it wasn't like we held that score for like a minute. It was like, bro, we were able to actually get that score within a second
Mhm.
and actually hit that. Like I would be like, damn, like I like we actually did that with just a second left.
And on the other side, I'd probably cry too. I'm like, yo, let's
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, that's
go.
what I'm
Like,
saying, yeah.
I just drained that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, to think like, yeah, we got that in a second. Like, it's not like, you know, it was like, oh, we just held it. We just, you know, were able to hold defense and whatnot. It was just like, bro, and then just hit that shit, and then we would literally, you're just, I wouldn't be able to think like, damn, it's over. Like, damn, like,
Bro, I was even that too. Like once it hit, like even the guy who shot it, his last name is Suggs, I think. It went in. Even if I was playing in that game, once it went, I'm like, yo, like, is it good? Like, did it count?
facts,
Like, I'm not gonna get too hyped because if I get hyped and I get shut down, I'm gonna be even more
even
upset.
worse,
So like, yo, like, show me the scoreboard. Like, is it
Right.
good? Like, game's over. We're good.
We're good.
All right.
Nobody
now-
touch me. Is it good?
And then I'll go crazy because that'd be salty as shit too. You know, that shit's still funny to me, even though we're talking about that. Just the fucking kid's like, my potatoes.
My potatoes.
It's like he has like the little like mom haircut, so his hair is
Yeah.
just flopping.
Yeah. Oh man, those little kids. They can cook better than me.
Yeah. You know, now that since we were having this conversation right now about like cooking and sports, I went through our analytics for our YouTube videos. You want to know what our demographic is for our videos?
What?
It's 80% women, 20% men.
I don't get it.
I don't know why
I don't
it
get it,
threw me
but-
off.
I don't
And,
get
and
it,
it's
but-
between the U.S., the U.K., and Brazil. Our demographic is 80% women.
Shout out to y'all.
Maybe it's because of the Selena Spooky Boo video, but I
Maybe.
don't know. That shit threw me off. I was like, because we just had a big month. We're like, well, our first a month ago, we didn't have a video over 1,000 views.
Mhm.
Now this video is about to hit 10K.
Mhm.
So I'm like, holy shit! Like, let me go look at like what worked and what was the analytics. Like, what could we do to keep happening? And then I look at it, I'm just like,
It's like, wait.
80% women.
Just like interesting.
Usually it's the other way around. Like,
Yeah.
especially with the shit we talk about, it'll be like a super majority like men,
Mhm.
and then like yeah. And usually when you like get sponsors and shit, they ask for those analytics, and like they want you to be like a certain demographic. Our ads are gonna be so weird if it stays that way. Like Tampine tampons. Like yo, like what the hell? Like, because usually if they see like you have a high guy demographic, you'll get like
Yeah, you'll get
Manscaped or Honey
and
or
all
just
this
like
other
Blue
stuff.
Chew or like all these other ones like of just like SeatGeek or like I don't know what. Like just usually it's just like mainly guy products. We're gonna be out here selling fucking Kylie underwear and Savage Fenty and all this other shit. Yeah, like I was just like, what the heck?
Bro, that's pretty funny now that I think about it. Hey, shout out to y'all women out there.
I know, I
Uh,
appreciate it either
Let
way.
us know how
it's
those
just-
ads are.
I know. That's what I'm like. That's funny to me, like, cause even then now, like, even with our IG reels, like all those numbers that they're getting, I'm like, this is good. Like, if we were to ever get to a point, we can show these to people,
Yeah.
and like they'll know what to do with it, and like, but like our shit about to be just like weird ass commercials, just like bath bombs and shit. I don't know.
If you want to get 10% off tampon, use our code ETC.
ETC at checkout for 10% off.
Oh god, that'd be pretty funny. Oh man.
Fucking just
Ah man, I'm just thinking about it. That's pretty funny. Like just to think like, yo, like our first like sponsor and like code to get something like off is like something off of like some woman product. And then nothing that's wrong. It's pretty funny.
it's
to
just
think.
funny for us to be having to sell that.
Yeah, and because we just wouldn't think, you know, just off of how we like talk about certain stuff, we would have just expected different. But again, based off of I guess you know certain videos that we put out recently, it could be the reason why. So.
We're gonna be selling sweat belts and tummy tees, and whoever get our first ad, we're gonna go crazy for it.
Facts. I'm gonna do the most craziest edits, the most craziest like skit ever. We got y'all.
Buy me undies.
Yeah. Ads.
I don't know, bro. I was cracking up to myself. I'm like, why?
Why 80%?
That's a strong like
it's not like it's like 40 or like
60
50.
40. Like I would prefer that. Like that'd be dope if it was like 60 40 or 50
Yeah. Because
50
then you know
50.
that it's like kind of split in the middle.
It's balanced
you
and
know,
we
it's
like we
balanced
have a
little bit.
good reach. Sup ladies? So, no.
Right, what's up, ladies?
I'm taken, but sup ladies.
Right?
Yeah. I'm excited, man. After just seeing that Suki video, we gotta get another one out.
Right.
She need to make more TikToks.
Facts. It was just crazy to think that like when we did the video, we kind of like didn't know how it was gonna go due to the fact
Not
that,
at all. You
due
never
to the fact
do.
that it was just like we didn't have that many videos to go off of. It was
Yeah.
kind of like the same, but we made it work, so it was cool. But yeah, just to see it, like we didn't think, I guess, a video like that in the sense of we're just like reacting to like a TikTok,
Yeah.
almost would be
And
like,
we're finally gonna break out of like, even if probably by the time this comes out we're gonna be past it, but like we've been we like our subscriber mark and our follower mark has been so like it's been so
mhm,
still for so long. We're finally gonna pass to 200 and shit.
200. Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all, especially you two,
It's always
all
this.
y'all women out there.
It's always those first, like I feel like the first 1,000 is always the hardest,
Yeah.
and then like once I feel like the higher you get, the
I
I
feel
feel
like
like it gets
it gets easier
easier.
due to the fact
Kind
that
of.
it's almost like it unlocks something where
Yeah,
it's
like
like you got past this stage. Now here's a more open range of things to go off of, and I feel like just more people see it. Like when you see that 1,000, it's
hmm
like people. I don't know how, but it just kind of opens up people's eyes more to where they see that 1,000 mark.
because even other channels you'll see like, oh, like they'll be like, thank you for 10,000, thank you for 100,000,
Yeah,
and then like
it just keeps
those other
going.
milestones happen faster and faster. Like it's a
Yeah.
snowball effect where like they go from 100,000 to a million super quick, and then it's after that point, I feel like it kind of is like that's when you see that slow down again.
Yeah, and it's like there's not so much to say. Like I've seen, like what's crazy is that like I've seen people that have like a lot of like a bigger following, and they'll shout somebody out, and of course like it'll go up pretty fast. But like the idea of like what how I say it, like the idea of how fast it happened, because it would be like, oh, like get my friend to like, I guess like you said, like 10,000. They'll be like maybe like 8,000,
hmm
and then it'll be like next week, and I'm like, oh, like y'all smashed it, like they got all
Yeah,
the way 10,000. You're like, bro, a week for like 2,000 people, like you don't think it's crazy, but it's like 2,000 people. That's pretty crazy.
it's
So
insane.
it's just the idea of like, man, like people really be out there just following, and it's pretty cool.
The spooky boo video, I didn't even know it was getting love like that.
Yeah,
I like checked on our page to see like our regular uploads. Like every time I will post, I'll go check
yeah.
on that. But then on the front of our page, I have like our popular uploads, and I just seen the spooky boo video on that
You're like,
list.
what's this doing here?
I'm like, this shit came out like a week ago. Why is it all the way up here? And then it just smashed. I sent it to you. I sent you. I was like, yo, like
Yeah.
it's at 500,
Right?
and now it's at 8,000.
Yeah, and it just keeps going up.
I thought oh maybe after 1,000 it'll stop, and that shit just fuck. I'm like,
It just keeps going. People are seeing, people are seeing it. People are talking about it.
YouTube finally helped us out,
Right? Yeah,
but
we got through the YouTube algorithm.
shit's impossible.
That John is
And
impossible.
the Twitch one's even worse.
Yeah, it is. It is difficult.
But we're gonna keep on grinding.
As creators, will be. I find somehow to break through it.
We're finally seeing something. We doing shit that we haven't been able to do before. We're just seeing like the 10,000 views and subscribers, and our IG reels and our TikToks are blowing up. So
Yeah.
and people are commenting. That's the biggest thing for me. Like if you see something, like even if I know you or anything, just comment. Like
Yeah.
if you feel like you want to say something. Like I love going back and forth with people in comments. Like just talking about the shit.
Commenting shows that like not so much that they're like fake accounts in a sense, like looking at it you would probably think, but it's like you can see that people are engaging in it, and
That's
it's like,
that's the most fun for me of like talking to people like, oh, like I love this part. I'm like, ah, yeah, like this didn't happen. Like I like to fill people in or like,
yeah, because it's that idea where it's like now, it might, or people like, yeah, y'all might not see it that way, but it's like to see somebody comment and us actually able to comment back, because it gets to that point, and I'm not saying we're going to be like this, but it gets to that point where say we get really big and there's too many comments to even go on. It's like,
yeah,
bro, it's like that idea of like, wow, like we can actually talk to the people and the fans, where we'll get to a point where we will probably have to make a video specifically to just like, oh, reading comments, and
Yeah.
commenting back, because it's like so many of them.
or
It's
just
like,
make a day out to like reply to like just go through and reply to comments and shit.
Because it's like you would think now like it'll probably only take us maybe like 2, 3, 5 minutes to comment on the people that like say something, whereas in the future, if anything, it'll take like hours. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fire. I forgot what I was about to say. it was about comments, but I forget. I feel see, and then like that's a kid, and we're here making fun of him. Like imagine
See,
him-
yeah,
it's just like it's fucked up. But where can they find you, Mark? I'm not gonna remember what I was gonna talk about. So we
okay.
just,
You can find me at Instagram at etc Marky Mark, Twitter at Marky Mark, Twitch at MC Marky Mark. Victor, where can I find you, and etc.
find me on all platforms at ETC Victor. So that means Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and all the above. If it's a platform, just type in that and you're gonna find me. Etc. Same thing on all platforms, real etc. And then our email is real.etc@gmail.com. So hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, all that for each of us and etc. as a whole. Anything you want to say, Mark?
Show those potatoes, right?
You're an idiot sandwich.
Yeah.
We love y'all.
I am an idiot sandwich.
We'll see you next week. Bye.